Hi children, welcome back to the online class. This is the third session of the lesson temperature and its measurement. So, what was the previous topic we have discussed is we have discussed some key points about clinical thermometer. So, let us recollect again some few points and let us get into the today's topic. So, let us recollect that what is meant by thermometer. What is meant by thermometer? Thermometer is a device used to measure the temperature. It is an instrument. Thermometer is an instrument or device which can be used to measure the temperature. How many types of thermometers are there? There are two types of thermometers. One is clinical thermometer and another one is digital thermometer, laboratory thermometer, and the second one is laboratory thermometer. So, there is another thermometer also there, that is there are only mainly two types of thermometers, one is clinical and another one is laboratory. So, the newly invented, the new sophisticated version of the thermometer is digital thermometer. It replaces both the clinical and laboratory thermometer. The digital thermometer can be used in the place of clinical thermometer as well as laboratory thermometer. So, it is a new version, it is a new technology involved in this digital thermometer. It replaces both the clinical and laboratory thermometers. So, it is digital thermometers also there. So, let us look into these three thermometers. So, initially in the previous class only we have discussed some points about clinical thermometer. So, what is meant by clinical thermometer? What is clinical thermometer? The thermometer which is used to measure human body temperature is called as clinical thermometer. So, this thermometer is especially used to measure the human body temperature, and this clinical thermometer consists of two scales. One is centigrade scale and another one is Fahrenheit scale. You can observe here it consists of two divisions. Here some lines will be observed. One of the side you can observe some lines, and other side also you can observe the scale divisions. The divisions similar to the divisions on the scale. Everyone has a scale, right? Can you observe the divisions on the scale? First one is 0 and after some divisions there is again 1. So, the similar divisions will be observed on the either side of the clinical thermometer. So, you can observe two different types of scales on the clinical thermometer. What are those scales? One is centigrade scale and another one is Fahrenheit scale. The values on this centigrade scale starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. So, what are the values present from which value to which value presented on this clinical thermometers, the centigrade scale? The values on this clinical thermometer of centigrade scale starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade, whereas on Fahrenheit scale the values start from 94 Fahrenheit to 108 Fahrenheit. The scale varies from 94 to 108, whereas the centigrade scale starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade, whereas on Fahrenheit scale the value starts from 94 Fahrenheit to 108 Fahrenheit. So, what is the normal temperature of the human body? The normal temperature of the human body is 37 degrees centigrade. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees centigrade. The normal temperature of humans. What is the normal temperature of human body? That is 37 degrees centigrade. So, remember this value, it is very important one. And if you measure the temperature of the human body with this thermometer, with this clinical thermometer, the mercury level will raise up to here. Why? Because our temperature is, our healthy human body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. So, which is equal to the 98.6 Fahrenheit. So, this 37 degree centigrade is equal to this. So, in the centigrade scale we will observe the reading as 37, and in the Fahrenheit scale, so this has two scales. The level indicates on the centigrade scale, the mercury level indicates 37 degree centigrade, and on the Fahrenheit scale the level of mercury indicates 98.6 if you are measuring the human body temperature. So, where will be the level of mercury when you are measuring human body temperature? The mercury level will be at 37 degree centigrade, which is equal to the 98.6 Fahrenheit. So, this is also normal human body temperature. What is the normal temperature of human body? Either 37 degree centigrade or 98.6 Fahrenheit. So, both are correct, but units are different. It is centigrade units and here it is Fahrenheit units. So, you have to remember the spelling also. So, it is very important. So, 98.6. What are the normal temperature of human body in degree centigrade? Then this is the only answer. Why? Because I have asked the temperature of normal human body in degree centigrade scale, which is equal to 37 degree centigrade. In Fahrenheit scale, the normal temperature of the human body is 98.6 Fahrenheit. And what was the important point about this clinical thermometer is the narrow tube. The thermometer is a glass material. It consists of a narrow tube in the middle. At the middle, it consists of a narrow hollow tube. There is some space which is very small space will be there. A tube like space will be there. You can observe here a tube like space will be there. It is very narrow. It is a very narrow tube. So, at the bulb, this is called as thermometry bulb. This is thermometer. This is the bulb. We can call it as bulb. And this bulb consists of liquid mercury. This bulb consists of mercury. So, near to the bulb, you can observe a constriction. Constriction means a curved like structure. You can observe constriction. A curved. It is not straight. It is up to straight here. It is up to straight here, and you can observe a curved here, a constriction. Some curved like structure will be observed here. We will call that curved like structure as kink. We will call it as kink. What is the purpose of this kink? So, whenever you are measuring the human body temperature, how you will measure? You have to place it under the tongue. You have to place the clinical thermometer under the tongue or under the armpits or under the shoulder. You have to place it. After some time, you have to remove it from the tongue. You have to remove it from under the tongue, and you have to take the readings. So, while you are removing from the tongue, the mercury level may falls. So, this kink, because of this kink, it will prevent the fall of mercury. If you assume that it is a straight one, so just assume if it is designed as a straight narrow tube, what will happen after removing, the mercury level falls down. So, you may get some incorrect readings. So, to avoid that errors, a kink will be present there. What is the purpose of the kink? It prevents, it is very important point. The clinical thermometer consists of a constriction. We will call it as kink, a curved structure in the narrow tube of the clinical thermometer. What is the purpose of this kink? Is prevents the fall of mercury level, prevents the fall of mercury level. So, whenever you will detach from the human body, and you can observe the mercury level doesn't falls, so that you can get the exact readings. If the mercury level falls, what will happen? You will get some incorrect readings. So, what the purpose of the kink in the clinical thermometer? It will prevent the fall of mercury level. It will prevent the fall of mercury level, so that you can get the exact readings. So, these are the information about the clinical thermometer. So, in the examination, if the examiner asks write a short note on clinical thermometer. So, let us summarize the points we have learned. So, what is clinical thermometer? Clinical thermometer is a device, is a thermometer which is used to measure human body temperature, and this thermometer consists of two scales. One is centigrade scale and another one is Fahrenheit scale. On centigrade scale, the reading starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. On Fahrenheit scale, the reading starts from 94 Fahrenheit to 108 Fahrenheit. A constriction means a curved structure. Constriction, what we call it as constriction. The constriction near to the bulb, constriction means a curved like structure, a compressor like structure will be observed near to the bulb, we will call it as constriction, and a special name for that is kink. A constriction is present near to the bulb of the clinical thermometer, we will call it as kink. The purpose of the kink is to prevent the fall of mercury level. The purpose of the kink is to prevent the fall of mercury level. So, this is the information about the clinical thermometer. So, let me ask you a question. So, whenever you have visited to the hospital, how the clinical thermometer is used to measure the temperature? How? What will they do while measuring the clinical thermometer? So, actually the thermometer will be dipped into some particular solution. So, it is an antibiotic solution, it will makes the thermometer to be clean, to be hygiene. To maintain the hygiene, the thermometer will be kept in some chemical solution. It is maybe some formaldehyde like solution like that. So, after removing from that, the nurse or the doctor will give some jerks to the thermometer. They will give some jerks and will put under the tongue or under the armpits. So, the initial they will give some jerks. Why they are giving some jerks? Why? Because the clinical thermometer consists of kink. So, by giving some jerks, the level of the mercury will fall down and it can be used to measure the human body temperature. So, after giving some jerks to the clinical thermometer, then the level of mercury will fall down and it can be used to measure the human body temperature. That is the reason behind the jerks they will made. So, this is the information about clinical thermometer. So, let us learn about laboratory thermometer. So, it is a simple one, laboratory thermometer. So, laboratory thermometer is a little bit larger than it seems to be larger than the clinical thermometer. The size of the laboratory thermometer is almost 2.5 times of the clinical thermometer, double to the size of the clinical thermometer. So, I have brought a laboratory thermometer for you. So, this is the laboratory thermometer. So, the clinical thermometer will be of this size only, whereas the laboratory thermometer will be little larger than the clinical thermometer. This is up to it is almost equal to 25, it is similar to the 25 centimeters of length will be there, whereas clinical thermometer will be up to only 10 centimeters of length. So, it is a little bit larger, it looks like larger than the clinical thermometer, and clinical thermometer consists of kink near to the bulb, whereas laboratory thermometer does not consist any kink. It will have only a straight narrow tube. It consists of a straight narrow tube. There will be no curves near to the bulb of the thermometer. There will be no curves presented near to the bulb of the thermometer. There is a straight narrow tube presented inside the thermometer. You can observe a silvery color at the end. We will call this part as bulb of the thermometer. So, whenever you visited to the school, I will show you this thermometer again to you. Okay, don't worry. So, it is very difficult to observe the thermometer in the video classes. So, whenever you visited to the school, I will show you again. Okay. So, the clinical thermometer consists of two scales, whereas the laboratory thermometer consists of only single scale. It consists of only one scale, only one scale will be observed, only one scale will be observed, that is centigrade scale. It consists of only centigrade scale. The readings on the laboratory thermometer starts from 0 degree centigrade to, the readings on the laboratory thermometer starts from 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. The readings presented on the laboratory thermometer starts from 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. So, 0 degree centigrade is the temperature at which water converts into the ice, at which water converts to ice. What is the temperature at which water converts to ice? It is denoted as 0, and 100 degree centigrade is the temperature at which water converts into vapor. Water converts into vapor. What is the, at which temperature water converts into vapor? At 100 degree centigrade. At which temperature water converts into ice? At 0 degree centigrade. So, the thermometer, the readings on the thermometer starts from 0 to 100 degree centigrade. This is the information only about laboratory thermometer. It is very easier than the clinical thermometer. So, it consists of, laboratory thermometer is a device. Clinical thermometer is a thermometer used to measure the human body temperature. Laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature of substances or materials. Temperature of substances. If you want to measure the temperature of the boiling water, you have to use laboratory thermometer. So, you cannot use clinical thermometer. It is not suitable to use clinical thermometer to measure the water temperature, boiling water temperature. So, if you want to measure the temperature of the boiling water, you have to use laboratory thermometer. I will discuss it later why we are using only laboratory thermometer. So, temperature of the substance, laboratory thermometer is used to measure, it is used to measure temperature of the substances. What is laboratory thermometer? Thermometer which is used to measure the temperature of the substances is called as laboratory thermometer. And laboratory thermometer consists of only a single scale, that is centigrade scale. The readings on the centigrade scale starts from 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. So, 0 degree centigrade is the temperature at which water converts into the ice. 100 degrees centigrade is the temperature at which water converts into the vapor. So, now let us understand the readings present on the thermometers. So, you have observed the readings on the thermometer, on both of the thermometers you have observed the readings, some divisions will be there. So, in order to observe the readings on the thermometer, just imagine that the readings are wiped out. Just imagine that the readings on the thermometer are wiped out. Wiped out means erased. So, imagine readings are wiped out. Wiped means erased. So, I have found a thermometer, I have found a laboratory thermometer, but it does not consist of any readings. But the function of the laboratory thermometer is very, actually it was very nice, the functioning was very good, but what was happened, I cannot find any readings on this. I found the laboratory thermometer in the lab, so I did not find any readings. So, in order to understand the readings present on the laboratory thermometer, just imagine the readings on the laboratory thermometer are wiped out. So, how this thermometer will be used again? How can we regain the readings presented on the laboratory thermometer? So, how? So, I will try to make the readings present, I will try to mark the readings on the thermometer. How? So, what was the technique? So, you have to keep this thermometer you have to keep this thermometer in contact with the ice. So, what was how can we mark the readings on the thermometer? So, you have to keep the thermometer in contact with the ice. You have to kept this thermometer in contact with the ice. So, So, kept this thermometer in contact with the ice. So, when you kept this thermometer in contact with the ice, the mercury level falls down, and stops at some certain position and indicate, for example, so you have brought this thermometer in contact with ice, the mercury level was up to here, I will mark this point as 0, 0 degrees centigrade, and later I just removed it from the contact of ice and I kept this thermometer in a boiling water, So, where the water is converting into the vapor, I have kept this thermometer. So, when the thermometer is kept in the boiling water, the mercury absorbs heat and rises to some particular level. The rays of mercury stop at some certain position. Let us imagine the level of mercury was up to here when I was kept the thermometer in contact with the boiling water. So, I have kept this thermometer in contact with boiling water, the level of mercury rises and stops at this certain position, and I will mark that position as 100 degrees centigrade. So, between 0 to 100 degrees centigrade there will be some space, So, divide this space into 100 equal parts, some space will be left in between 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. So, find the distance between them and make some equal divisions. So, I have made some equal divisions, I have divided the space between 0 to 100 degrees into 100 equal parts. So, make 100 equal divisions, between the space of 0 to 100 degrees, space is divided into 100 equal parts. So, each division will indicate, so if it is 0 and the next division will indicate 1 degree centigrade, and the next division will indicate 2 degrees centigrade, and the next division will indicate 3 degrees centigrade. So, in this way each division presented on the laboratory scale indicate a 1 degree centigrade of temperature change. So, the gap between the two divisions is 1 degree centigrade. So, up to here, up to 0 to 100 you can observe 100 divisions between 0 to 100. So, whereas the readings presented on the clinical thermometer was little bit different. So, let us see about that. So, the reading starts, what are the readings presented on the clinical thermometer? On clinical thermometer, on the centigrade scale, clinical thermometer consists of 2 scales. So, on the centigrade scale, the reading starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. The reading starts from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade. So, this is 35 and let us say this is as 36. So, in between 35 to 36 there will be 100 divisions, there will be 10 divisions between 35 to 60. So, this 1 degree centigrade is again divided into 10 equal parts, So, here only there will be no divisions between 1 degree centigrade of temperature gap, there will be no divisions, but here in between 35 to 36 degree centigrade there are again some 100 equal parts. So, now my question is, what is the value of each division? What is the value of temperature of each division? So, let us find out that. So, how much gap is there? From 35 to 36? From 35 to 36, 1 degree centigrade of gap is there. How many divisions was made? 10 divisions was made. How many divisions were made? 10 divisions are there. So, I was asking what is the length, what is the temperature equivalent for each division? Each division is equal to how much of temperature? Each division is equal to how much? So, let us find out that. How can you find this? So, you can find this by making some mathematics. So, what was the total temperature change? The total temperature difference is 1 degree centigrade, and you has made into 10 equal parts. So, 1 by 10 is equal to 0.1 degree centigrade. So, let us take a similar example. So, you have bought some 10 chocolates. You have bought some 10 chocolates, and the cost of 10 chocolates is 20 rupees. The cost of 10 chocolates is 20 rupees. So, what was the cost of each chocolate? What was the cost of each chocolate? So, what I was asking is, I have gave some multiple chocolates cost. Some multiple means 10 chocolates cost is 20 rupees, and there are 10 chocolates here, and I was divided one chocolate and asked the cost of this one chocolate. There are 20 chocolates here, and I have separated one chocolate, and I was divided one chocolate from this group, and I just asked that what is the cost of this chocolate. What I have made here, I have made some division. Separation. I have divided one chocolate from this group, and I asked this cost of this single chocolate. So, what I was made here? Division. So, the total cost is 20. The total cost is 20. And how many chocolates are there? 10. So, what is the cost of each chocolate is 2 rupees. So, he has made some division. Why? Because I have divided one chocolate from this group of 10 chocolates, and I asked this cost. So, let's take the similar one. So, what is the difference between these two readings? This is 35 degrees centigrade, this is 36. So, what is the difference here? 1 degree centigrade is the difference. How many divisions are there? 10 divisions are there. So, this is similar to how many chocolates are there? What is the total cost? The total cost is 20 rupees. And how many chocolates are there? 10 chocolates are there. So, how many divisions are there? 10 divisions are there. So, 20 rupees is equivalent to total distance between the 35 degrees centigrade to 36 degrees centigrade. So, the total will be here, and number of divisions will be taken in the denominator. So, 1 degree centigrade by 10 is equivalent to 0.1 degree centigrade. So, on the clinical thermometer, the temperature gap, 1 degree centigrade of temperature gap, this is 35 degrees centigrade, and this one is 36 degrees centigrade. The 1 degree centigrade of gap is again divided into 10 equal parts, What is the value of each division? The value of each division is 0.1 degree centigrade. The value of each division is 0.1 degree centigrade. If the mercury level was here, so then the temperature value will be taken as 35.1 degree centigrade. So, if the mercury level is little bit one division above than this, then the readings will be taken as 35.2, 35.3, 35.4 up to 35.36. So, like that each division value is equal to 0.1 degree centigrade. So, this is the information about the readings presented on the thermometer. So, again, what was the next thermometer we want to discuss is, so we have seen two thermometers. One is clinical thermometer and another one is laboratory thermometer. So, again there is another thermometer called as digital thermometer. So, this is the new version for this both laboratory and clinical thermometer. This is a newly invented thermometer which replaces the both laboratory and clinical thermometer. So, you cannot use clinical thermometer to measure the high temperatures. If you want to measure the boiling water temperature, you can't use clinical thermometer. Why? Because on the clinical thermometer the readings was up to 42 degrees only. The readings are from up to 42 degrees centigrade only. If you use this clinical thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water, the thermometer may breaks down. It will breaks, so it cannot be used further. And laboratory thermometer cannot be used to measure the human body temperature. So, but digital thermometer can be used to measure the temperature of any substances. It can be either human body temperature, it can be either temperature of the substance. So, it replaces, this is a new version of the thermometers. This is the newly invented version for the both thermometers. It replaces the uses of both laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer. And this digital thermometer consists of a thermistor. This digital thermometer, inside the digital thermometer, so it will just simply looks like a plastic body, like, and you will have some numbers here. Directly it will show the temperature. Directly the display will shows the value of temperatures. So, this digital thermometer consists of a special wire. We will call it as thermistor. This thermistor is nothing but simply a wire. So, what is the function of this wire is, whenever temperature change is observed, this particular wire, this wire will generate current. It will generate current. Depending on the amount of current, it will calculate the temperature. Depending upon the amount of current produced, it will calculate the temperature. The digital thermometer consists of a wire. We cannot call it as wire, we have to call it as thermistor. What is thermistor? It is a special wire which produces current with the temperature change. Whenever it gets the temperature, it will produces current, it will generate current. Such wire is called as thermistor. So, digital thermometer consists of thermistor. So, this thermistor will generate current, and according to the value of current, the temperature will be shown in the digital thermometer. So, these are the instruments used to measure the temperature. So, in this lesson we have learned temperature and its measurement also. So, with this the lesson was completed. So, I will give an homework for you. Just try to obtain the differences between the clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer and make a neat sketch of both the thermometers. You will find it in the textbooks, or you can make it, you can find it in the study materials also. So, I will just write the homework here. So, try to make obtain the differences between clinical thermometer. So, just try to write on your own. If you cannot find the differences, then you can take the study material and you can read it and try to answer the question without seeing the material. Okay. So, differences between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. And second one is, draw a neat sketch of both thermometers, so that you can know what were the readings present on the thermometers, both thermometers. Draw a neat sketch of thermometers. So, you have to draw both clinical and laboratory thermometers. So, with this the lesson was completed. Thank you.